Alright, this is how to analyze the frictional forces on wedges. So, a wedge is a simple machine that is used to transform an applied force into much larger forces. So, say we had a wall. We had a wedge with angle theta. We had this large block W with weight W. And we applied a force right there, P. So, if I were to make a free body diagram of just this wedge, I would have P. I would have my normal force, I'll call it N1, with the ground, or whatever surface it is. And then I would have my frictional force with that same surface. And then I'd have the normal force from the large weight on top. Oops. Call that N2. And then I would have my frictional force with that same surface. And this angle is still theta. Okay? And then the free body diagram for my weight it's going to look something like this. I've got my weight of W. I've got that same normal force. I've got my frictional force going the opposite direction of it, how it was right there. And then this is also touching a wall. So it's going to have a normal force, N3, and a frictional force. So if you were to wedge this under, right, so you're pushing it, so you're actually pushing W up, which means your frictional force is going to act down. Okay? So if I'm looking at this right now, let's look at how many unknowns I have. I don't know P, F1, N1, F2, N2, F3, or N3. So I've got 7 unknowns. So what I can utilize is my equations of equilibrium, aka the sum of the forces in the x direction and the sum of the forces in the y direction is equal to 0. On the wedge and on the block. So that gives me 4 equations right there, 2 on the wedge and 2 on the block. And then I've got 3 frictional forces. And so in this case, I will use 3F is equal to mu n's. And in this, we're assuming that neither the wedge nor the block will tip. Another aspect of this is if P is not applied, and the frictional forces hold the block in place. Then the wedge is considered self-locking. So if you were to take away your force P, but it stays in this exact same position, then the frictional forces lock it into place. So it's self-locking. That's it.